Okay, fellow gamers, this time let's take a look at the board games that are inspired by the Alien movie franchise. We will line them up by release date and try to understand what makes them different from one another, and we'll try to compare them. All this mind-blowing story started in 1979 with the first Alien science fiction horror film directed by Ridley Scott. Since then, Alien has been widely considered as one of the greatest and most influential science fiction and horror films of all time. If the video game enthusiasts must wait 3 long years until the first Alien game hit the screens on Atari gaming platform and initially resembled something like Pac-Man style 2D game, then board game enthusiasts could plunge into the gaming literally immediately. First Alien board game was released in 1979. Yes, the same year as the Alien film, and carried the same title as the movie. Probably from today's perspective, we may expect that Alien games should be cooperative when team fights for survival, or at least asymmetrical, where one player controls aliens and others fight back. But nevertheless, Alien board game beginnings were absolutely different. It was a game for 2 to 4 players, where the main aim was to be the first player to get one of your astronauts into the space shuttle, while at the same time controlling and using Alien to eliminate the astronauts of the other players. Unlike many of modern sci-fi and horror themed games, this one was categorized for age 7 and up. Game board featured scenes from the movie, game pieces consisted of astronauts, 3 for each player, and alien standees and a pair of dice. Although at a first glance it may appear primitive in comparison to modern games, it all changes when you familiarize yourself with the rules that you can still find online. It resembles other fun games with special movement rules for aliens and astronauts, special elimination rules, safe places, aspect of unpredictability, pieces of strategic play and movement with high competition and replayability value. And you know what? While the video game developers worked days and nights and created a whole myriad of games, then for some unknown and for me absolutely not understandable reason, since the first board game developers totally forgot about aliens for more than 34 years. Probably partial explanation could be a tremendous video game boom that evolved during the 80s and then carried into the 90s and dragged millions of people into the video game universe. And if you like familiarize yourself with the whole evolution of Alien video games from the inception in 1983 up to the latest releases, then check out the channel pages and follow link in description. We have a special episode for that. Anyway, no matter the reason, only in 2014 a second board game in the whole Alien franchise was released. It was Legendary Encounters, an Alien deck building game. At the time of the release, there were a whole bunch of movies in the Alien Universe franchise, including 2012 Prometheus and even 2 movies that blend Alien and Predator franchises in the Alien vs Predator crossover. As the name suggests, it was a deck building game. The game was based on the 4 movies of the Alien series, and in contrast with the first game, it was a fully cooperative game for up to 5 players with a solitaire gameplay option, and because of its amazing graphical content from the movie scenes, game age requirements hit 17+ mark. So the game marks not only the first Alien deck building game, but also the first Alien game with the solitaire gameplay option. In the game, players take on the role of such protagonists as Ripley, Dallas, Bishop and Corporal Hicks. taking turns recruiting cards from their deck from a central selection in order to improve their deck and defeat xenomorph cards that are relentlessly added to the central game board. This could be a colossal game for deck-building fans, card game lovers, and Alien franchise enthusiasts. What do you think? Share your opinions in comments, and let's carry on with the Alien vs Predator: The Hunt Begins. The game was released in 2015 and was the first ever miniature board game in Alien's universe. It is a dynamic tactical board game for 1 to 3 players that allows you to take control of one of 3 factions: Alien Xenomorphs, Predator or Colonial Marines. Game contains 10 missions that are strung together and make a campaign. Probably the game would kept its popularity up to this day if not for the developers' decision to make a second edition. Aliens vs Predator: The Hunt Begins, second edition. In 2017, Aliens vs Predator: The Hunt Begins, second edition was released. Second edition featured the redesigned unicast miniatures, not requiring assembly and gluing, improved rule set, the Lost End mode from the first edition, square-shaped box, and revamped artwork. Main story remained the same, with different factions fighting for supremacy on board the spaceship. It seems like Legendary encounters an alien deck building game, and Alien vs Predator: The Hunt Begins really broke the ice, because in the following years the board game industry experienced an influx of Alien games. Let's remember that 30 years strange vacuum since the first Alien game. Anyway, in 2018, Aliens Hadley's Hope was released. The game was set in the Alien universe based on the 1979 film, where players must cooperate and try to save colonists from the damaged spaceship and escape, trying not to be killed by xenomorphs. This board game is unique between other board games because this game contains an intriguing asymmetrical hidden identity element, with one player whose identity is hidden from the rest has a mission to sabotage the escape. And throughout the entire game, no player is eliminated, but if they get killed as humans, they take on the role as xenomorph they spawned. During the game, players move across a modular board with circular sections that can rotate and change the composition of the maze to their advantage or to block other players. By the way, if you like to play board games based on the movies, then browse channel pages or follow the link in description to watch this episode about the best board games based on the movies. And if you are a horror theme lover, then check out the episodes about the best horror board games of all time or top 5 ultimately best horror movie games of all time. But now let's return to the history of Alien board games. In 2019, Alien Perfect Organism was released. Quite a unique game in which players were invited to take on the role of Alien Queen and strategically build the biggest hive and kill all other queens. Game was designed as a player elimination card game with a set collection and action point system. Players have to use tunnels in which they can place alien eggs, hatch them, play facehugger cards, find victims, create adult xenomorphs, and grow the hive. Shortly after, Aliens: Another Glorious Day in the Core was released in 2020 and marked the first really 100% cooperative survivor alien game with miniatures in which you and your team of specialist colonial marines will gear up and head into the Hadley's Hope to find survivors and clues.
I only need to know one thing: where they are.
Game is designed for 1 to 6 players and promises up to 2-hour gaming fun as you fight off relentless xenomorph ambushes and try to get out alive. Game offers 6 separate missions taking you into the different areas from Hadley's Hope terraforming facility to the deep and dark Xenomorph nest. Game also offers campaign mode with 4 of the missions linked together. This game is very moddable with many packs and expansions available. Check links in the description, I've added these as well. It seems like this crazy bug hunting has some kind of chain reaction because it is not the only Alien game that was released in 2020. Aliens Bug Hunt is another board game that features favorite characters from Aliens movie and co-op die rolling combat for 1 to 4 players. Each character has a unique ability and every roll is promised to be critical as players rely on each other to cover their backs and get out alive. The whole game complex consists of 30 different location tiles represented with different challenges. And you know guys, who could believe that we would be left for 42 long years without any proper board game that would feature an actual legendary Alien movie? Yes, indeed, since Alien debuted in 1979, we had all kind of board games. From games that feature competitive astronaut run over the Nostromo, deck builders fighting hordes of xenomorphs, asymmetrical and co-op miniature games, a lot of bug hunting and slashing, and even card games featuring nesting xenomorph queen, but not even a single game that would feature actual iconic events from the first Alien movie on board of the Nostromo. And I guess it would be a huge disappointment and shame for a whole board game world if no one would dare to break this ice. Thanks to Scott Rogers and Ravensburger, in 2021 this void was finally filled with Alien Fate of Nostromo, where 1 to 4 players take on the role of Nostromo crew members Ripley, Lambert, Parker, Brett or Dallas. It is a wonderful board game where you must collect scrap, craft items and fulfill different objectives, creeping through the Nostromo's halls, with Alien lurking somewhere in the dark. Game allows not only craft items but also trade them with other players and use special abilities. Main goal of the game is to fulfill initial objectives and 5 final missions, each with a unique set of requirements before the crew's morale runs out. Absolutely fantastic game. In between other board games, this one is the closest to the actual events and environment featured in the Alien 1979 movie. It's hard to predict what lies ahead for Alien universe in the board game realm. Write in the comments which Alien movie franchise events you would be happy to see implemented in the board games. If you love to play video games as well, browse channel pages or follow the links in description to watch episode about the evolution of Alien video games that covers all of the titles since 1982 up to this date, and you may also want to check out the episode about the top 10 best Alien video games of all time. If you found this video useful, give it a like, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to be always informed about new episodes. And that's it for today. Thank you for watching, have fun playing these amazing games and watching these iconic movies, and stay tuned for the next episode.